Looks great. So hip. Hi. Fun.
Get you.
Yeah.
Tidy, tiny little bump.
My
Tiny little bump.
Oh yeah.
See Daisy up there with the parrots on her shoulder? It's at Christmas time.
Oh really? God, look at her. Her haircut too.
Well, now she has a green mohawk.
Did she really? I love it.
Yeah, she just started film school. And
Is it a real mohawk shaved on the sides, or I know it's
my
green.
daughter,
Yeah,
she has a real mohawk.
because when I saw her last time, her hair was up, but it was green, but it wasn't shaved on the sides.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
It's probably just a little bit,
Like-
it's pretty short though. It's like number 2 on the
Wow.
shaving
Ah.
scale.
And she dyed it green?
Green on top. So she wants me to send her some new green hair dye, like they don't have it in New Zealand.
Right.
Like only the Hot Topic one will do the job.
So funny.
Did you see Sly Stone last night? His mohawk?
I didn't.
I did.
About this
Oh,
tall.
my
He had a
God.
shaved head. It was about this tall. It was flaming blonde, I guess.
Platinum. Yeah.
Platinum.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
so she
He
got
could
she got a
barely
more
walk,
feminine
you know?
version. I know.
The heaviness of it.
It's taller than his head. Yeah.
He was hilarious.
You look a bit different, Renee, than the last time we were together.
Not that different, really, right? I
Oh,
saw her when I
well,
mentioned.
then since
Lucy,
Lucy's,
yeah.
I know.
Well, it's funny because last time I was here, you guys were having a party, a little get together.
Yeah.
And so I was gonna, my plans were to tell you I was pregnant, but there were so many people here, and we never actually got a chance to kind of sit down and chat alone. And I didn't really want to, go, oh, by the way,
Pregnant.
I'm pregnant. That's a surprise to me. But yeah, so then I guess I told you before your concert. That was my only other opportunity.
Oh, that's right. You were 5 months at the time.
Yeah.
Good 5 months. 5 months to
I know.
Actually, if I had got on the internet more, I would know that.
It wasn't.
No, she knew before
It was
you
a pretty
actually
big,
I know that.
quiet, private.
You're kind of a
moment.
pretty quiet
I
person
am.
anyway.
Especially on this one,
And you both had kids while you were pregnant. How's Miles? Does he talk to you about the coming baby and what is his input?
We put up a crib and had the little plush toys and stuff, all the pink stuff, which is funny. So he goes in, he throws them out, brings in Batman and Spider-Man dolls.
Something she'll like better.
Yeah. No, it's just for him. And then we play with Batman Cave, and I'm the bad guy. And he takes the head off the bad guy, and then he throws it to the crib, So it's just a play toy right now. Anything to do with the baby's a plaything that he can enjoy. But then every now and then he'll come up and kiss my belly, and he makes up a name for the little girl every day.
What was his latest?
Actually, his latest was pretty traditional. It was like Olivia or something. But
What was the craziest one he came up with?
I don't remember. You don't remember anything when you're pregnant.
Yeah, you really don't. When I tried to do
Day-to-day.
vagina monologues, I could hardly
I don't know how you
memorize.
did that.
I don't know how I did it either, except it was,
Jeez.
I could hardly get through it.
I would have had
really-
nightmares or something that. God, that's amazing. I can't. Yeah, no. So I don't remember. No. Sorry. Sorry to spoil you.
My sons make up really grand names for things like Black Lord of the Fire and Night Ears. Those are our animal names.
Those are for the animals?
Yeah. Cats and
Something we've got to
snakes
tell
and things.
people that you've now announced that your dogs and your cats and your dog don't get together, and I already spilled the beans. And that's my dog. We got to clue people in here. She's faking it on the dog, people.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
We filmed something at her house, and I brought Muffy with me because I was going to be gone hours and hours. So at one point, Muffy came up and jumped in her lap, and oh, you big fat sausage of a dog.
Is that what I said?
Yes, because she was very hairy at the moment. Yeah, said it was your guard dog or your guide dog. I think I don't remember which. Yeah. So she's given the fans updates on the dog since then.
Yeah.
This imaginary dog.
Well, no. We have a dog in New Zealand. Maybe
Lucky.
that's right. Anyway, next question.
So how was Julius when Judah was on the way?
He was pretty happy about it until he realized that this damn thing was here to stay.
I know.
And he was
That's
like,
what I can't wait for that.
When are we done with it yet? And it's like that till today. Just
Still?
lots of-
Oh, really?
get rid of him.
Kelly brought this in
He's
here.
such a pain.
Wow, I know, I'm waiting for that moment because I think it's gonna be so funny to hear what he says, you know? Can't you take it back? You know?
The dog was very jealous, actually.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
the dog, Lucky, was
He's-
very jealous. He was really excited because he knew on some level that a baby was being born.
Wow.
He totally, and he was pogoing up and down, Rob said, downstairs because he knew he wasn't
But
allowed
you had a
upstairs.
home birth too, so
I had a home
he
birth,
was
that's
there,
right.
right? That's right.
And
Yeah.
and when the dog was really happy about the baby because he thought that the baby was now the lowest on the totem pole. And when he realized that he still had to get out or get away from the baby and the baby was higher than him, he had his nose very much out of joint.
Interesting.
Yeah. Dog was not happy about that.
Wow.
He thought he went out for a run.
It's funny, I've been looking at home births here. It is so difficult to try to have a home birth in America. It's hilarious.
Were you thinking of
A home birth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I went to this, it's a very long story, but
Yeah.
but I ended up looking for an alternative to a hospital. And I found this birthing center, and so I'll probably go there. I mean, I will go there. But she screened me to see if I'd be eligible for a home birth. And if everything goes the way it is, I can. But I find it's interesting to tell people I'm having a home birth because everyone's worried about it, you know. Family here, friends here, because they're not used to
It's
the
this
idea
country,
of it.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
In New
New
Zealand,
Zealand,
it's much more common.
So-
Much more common. Well, you know, there are legitimate concerns. I know somebody who lost 2 babies. They had problems, but I think they lived way out of town, and you would always, you have a
You have to
hospital
have someone
right
standby.
nearby.
Yeah.
If anything deviates from the norm in any way at all,
Right.
the doctor will take you there. So if you have any reservations, then you might as well just go to the hospital. But
Yeah, no,
There's
she's
always
great.
the pool.
I know,
I
I
was-
asked her about that because of you too, and she's this phenomenal midwife. She's been doing it for 30 years, and they're doing a study on home births in a birthing pool, and maybe thinking, you know, there's always new studies, but maybe thinking it's not as good for the babies as it is for the mother. So people are, but again, technology
I
is
didn't really
changing.
love it, to be honest.
You know, really?
The second time, because I felt cold, because your body's
Ah.
going up and down. I was like, yeah, I heat the water up, and I was saying, well, it's actually good. This is better for the baby
Oh.
temperature, because I couldn't really tell
Freezing.
how cold or hot it was.
Really?
Because your body is sort of fluctuating wildly.
Whoa.
But the first time,
I think you'd be used to that after all those pools out at
All those
the-
Xena pools.
the mound.
those freezing pools in the middle of winter that most jump into.
The fire hoses.
Now, what you're going to have is 2 young ones. They're only about 3 years apart, 2.5, somewhere around there, which is again, well, this is what you've got already. So have we given her any update on what it's going to be like to have 2 little ones around at the same time?
So I don't think, Miles will be 4.5. I don't consider him a toddler anymore at all, you know?
4.5 is pretty big.
How old was Julius when you?
2.5.
Oh,
That's
2,
a big
so it was
difference.
much. Because I just remember that you really had 2 babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, Julius is also really mummy obsessed, whereas Judah isn't. I don't think. I mean, Julius is unusually
So funny.
attached
Wow.
to me, and always was. Really, he's quite sort of high maintenance. Like, I cannot go out without him having to say goodbye 18 times.
Oh,
Just to
sweet.
yoga. Just to yoga. He knows I'm coming back
Wow.
in 2 hours, but he has to.
18
say
times.
Whoa.
Well, maybe not. But
Yeah, but you know, it's that
Yeah.
attachment to you.
certainly 10.
See it.
Certainly 10.
Miles is a little daddy's boy because he wants to wrestle, you know.
Right,
He wants to
Jude's like
sword
that too.
fight and do all these things,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, you know, can't pick you up, you know. So the dad's, you know, the daddy time is the best. So
So any moment now, he'll start with the experiments that we just saw on Lucy's table.
Oh,
I don't know.
Your
I
young
don't think
boy.
he's quite that advanced yet.
What were these experiments we were just looking at? Should we tell the what's growing on your dining room table?
we cut up plastic cups and tried to keep them all sterile, and we put agar, this gel, sort of gel
growing.
stuff
Yeah.
that you can grow bacteria. And then we did samples around the house of, well, we did things that kids like cat hair and boogers and sneeze and pee and all these things that little boys were really interested in. And we grew bacteria and fungus and stuff. And it was a good way to illustrate how buggy certain things are and why Mummy doesn't want you pissing in the waste paper basket.
Good.
Honestly,
Oh my
I
God.
think, did the housekeeper leave that basket of water there?
Oh, you're kidding.
And I'll go and clean it. And the little boys have used it as a urinal.
Oh my God.
They just like store it there.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
They're awful. And they literally have pissing contests.
Do you think it's because it's the two of them and they come up
they're
with these
just
ideas?
awful. They're just awful.
Because, Miles, the worst is that maybe he doesn't wash his hands, like, you gotta wash your hands, It's not
Judah
so
is
bad.
so good about the hand washing. Some people just are, and some people kind of don't care.
That's hilarious.
Now, Lucy didn't get to see you in your photo op outfit. Can you tell her what you were wearing?
Yeah, the harmonia. Remember the wings with the little silver
Yeah.
one? Yeah. Well, it's the only thing that was gonna fit. And I like to do the costumes because I think it's, people are there and I spend a lot of money and I just make something
Give
fun.
a little value.
Well, make it a lot of fun for all of us. And
you look like
and
you
I
want
have
to.
so much more fun because I tried it once without a costume and I don't know, it was a little too serious.
Yeah.
So she had her wings, complete with wings.
Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah.
And you seem to be encouraging people to touch your tummy, like even me. I mean, I was just kind of
Oh,
looking
no,
at you.
I
Here, go ahead, put your hand on it, put your hand on it.
No.
I used to
don't
find it
encourage it.
so weird when people, like in shopping malls, are really attracted to you.
Strangers?
Strangers can be like, oh, can I touch it?
Oh.
That has
No.
never happened to me,
Go
no.
away.
I mean, we were in the hot tub together, and you were about 3 weeks away from, being born down at, giving birth down in New Zealand. And I'm sitting across, and even then it would never occur to me to
I
say.
did ask. I said you could. That's right.
Yeah,
Because,
you
people were asking,
Yeah.
and no one really has, except for my boyfriend, doing that. But I thought, well, give it a go.
Yeah,
I tried to feel it out, and I didn't mind. So
And they were
not
all
many
so,
people were
and
asking.
they were all ladies, and they were all very
Yeah, and they were
gentle,
so
and
sweet about it.
It was
Yeah.
delight. It was a delightful addition.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
You've both been traveling to places that are radically different from the homes you're used to living in, the countries you're used to living in. Renee, you went to Israel, which
Yeah.
was a country at war.
Right.
Um,
I talked
how-
to you after that. You had been there before.
I thought you were going.
Oh no, I
You just come back?
had just come back. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But I'm sorry.
No, well, that's it. How did it affect you? How did you feel being in a country where, did you feel not safe?
Not at all. I think the entire time I felt more safe than I have ever thought I would be.
Really?
What amazes you?
Especially during the Gaza pullout, It's amazing.
You go, wow, the world's really a much bigger place than you think. When you're sitting here watching CNN, you think, oh, that whole of Israel can be blown up smithereens in a second. You go there, and there's
It's
vast
isolated.
landscapes, and there's people all over the place, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
that part was secluded and isolated, and we were watching it on the news because we were just staying in little sweet neighborhoods, where my neighbor's family were living. So
There was a
but it
little
was
activity in the
interesting.
mall.
What's that?
There was a little activity in the mall.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
close enough to,
there's
I don't know
guns,
if
I mean,
she,
everybody's got them.
it actually a missile landed.
Well, I mean, but going into a regular mall, compared to the one that the missile almost hit, but the going into a regular mall, they were looking at the cars with the little mirrors, and yeah, they had the M16s, and then you go through a screening door to go into a shop. So it's a whole different lifestyle. But I walked away thinking how naive we all are in America. Really interesting.
We just
but
really don't even have
not
to
to
think about it.
not to go on about that.
Well, I just wanted to touch, these are really the two serious subjects, because you just came back from Bangladesh and that World Vision documentary just aired. And that seemed, again, we know poverty exists, we see it on television, but actually being there is something that not a whole lot of people
No, not a lot of people go to
Experience.
Bangladesh, that's for sure. I think
or
that's
see
why I was
families like
attracted.
Binna's family.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much that you didn't see that was framed out because of economy of, the subject. But there was women holding these babies who were so seriously deformed, you cannot believe that nobody's done anything about it. But there was this one tiny little boy in Lady's Arms, and he had like what I call a double yolk eye. He had like two eyeballs, one on top of the other, so he couldn't close his eye because there was yet another sort of eyeball sticking out. There is so much poison in the earth from arsenic. It's naturally occurring, and because any place where it floods a lot, lots of heavy metals, like Katrina's brought this all up in Louisiana, brings up a lot of heavy metals from underneath the ground, and they've had the worst case of mass poisoning in recorded history, where like millions of people have so much arsenic in them. They're actually developing some kind of immunity to a lot of things, but notwithstanding, it causes terrible, terrible deformities, whatever the hell is going on in their environment. And nobody's going to do anything about this. Even if they could, the people are like, you get the sense of everybody's job is just to get through the next 12 hours. So every child has a job, whether they're paid for it at the brickyards or not. Everybody has a job. You've got to be, if you have a cow, you better be feeding that cow, or you're looking for grasses to feed your family. That's the salad, is just what you can find on the ground. Somebody's got to go catch a fish. Everybody's working all the time just to get through the next 24 hours. And so for a mother or somebody to have to be looking after a child who's deformed or has no hope of ever contributing to the family is like, it's a huge waste of resources for the survival of that family. So I got the feeling like it was just like, please, Allah, when Allah wills it, take this child, because there's no life for the kid and there's no life for us.
There's nothing I can do.
Yeah, there's nothing anyone can do for us. Which isn't exactly true, because those schemes by the NGOs like World Vision, I've seen that they do work quite amazing and very empowering to a community. But they do not have a mindset where the universe will hold them up. There's no trust between, there's no understanding across a huge community, because there's no social welfare, there's no sense of entitlement. You're entitled to nothing but what's right in front of you.
So different.
Yeah.
Well, and you were just recently in New Orleans again, right?
Yeah, we went back for Thanksgiving, and yeah, it's a big old.
What?
I mean, Thanksgiving was November,
Yeah.
November, December, January, February. We're in February. It's 4 months later. They still haven't touched a twig there.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I obviously the Red Cross is disappointing everyone. What about Habitat for Humanity? Are they helping?
They're going down there. Yeah,
They are.
We have some people at the convention who are going down there. Part of the problem, I think, is those heavy metals. There's crazy levels of arsenic. Is it boron? I can't list what's there, but it's now lying as a thick sort of dust on everything. So stirring it up is a problem.
Huh.
It's part
So it's not
of
as if the house just fell down and you could come in and build it up. It's the land that they're building on and all the debris that's there. It's actually finding a place to build it. And do you still own that land? And is the land going to be flooded? I mean, this is like a catch-22.
Yes,
So they're trying to figure it out, but in the meantime, the families are still there.
They are, but
Or
see,
they can be, right?
our house guest Donna, she's homeless from New Orleans, and they've got Mardi Gras coming up, and they're trying to make a really big party out of it, and all the floats are showing up this year. But the residents the former residents who are now living in and around like Baton Rouge and all over the country actually are going, well, so what? We still don't have houses.
Yeah, really. It's to be
There's-
celebrated.
It's a
It seems
tough
like
thing.
the businesses, the bigger businesses, I don't know what I'm talking about, but the bigger businesses would be benefiting from Jazz Festival and Mardi Gras as opposed to the
Hotels.
people.
Right, well, that's
in
why
the
everybody's been
neighborhoods.
kicked out of the hotels to
Right.
make money for the paying,
Yeah.
to bring in,
Oh, okay, so they actually are.
To support the
People
restaurants.
leave the hotels.
people are having to leave, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, it's hard.
And you can see why they want some revenue, for God's sake.
Oh, sure.
You get that as well. It's
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
but
Yeah,
at a human cost,
Well, that's what I was
People-
wondering is, what organizations are truly out there helping, and they're having difficulty as well. Habitat for Humanity is having a hard time if they clean the sludge first.
Like this person, Lily Duke, that we found, I think the help is going on for survival. And I think that they can't quite there's no plan for rebuilding. So the help that's going on is from Habitat or from people cleaning out houses, and that it's really day-to-day survival that
Sounds like
groups are
Bangladesh,
helping.
didn't
Like I
it?
say, this lady
it's
lives.
so similar. I
Yeah.
saw a lot of similarities. And it's just about the human condition. It's about how human behavior, how humans behave under incredible stress.
Yeah.
And it's like every man for himself. And
I would think that there was community development areas, which is what World Vision sets up. Like I say, when you donate
Area
the money,
development.
they don't give the money to that child, they give it to a community development
Right.
area, which then does things for the village in terms of the water. That's kind of what is needing to be going on in New Orleans right now until somebody can figure out how to rebuild the city. And that's a
Oh,
government
that's really
thing.
interesting. Yeah, you're right. What
So
what
it's-
happens in
and
the case of
World
World Vision
Vision is
is
in
that
there. They're in control.
a community the leaders of a community have to come and say, please help us. We're motivated. We need to do this, this, and this. Help us help ourselves. That's what they don't come in and just endow you with money, say there you go,
Right.
spend it, or we'll do it for you, because that doesn't give them any sense of ownership or pride over whatever the project is.
Responsibility, too.
And sense of responsibility. That's right. It doesn't educate people in how to help themselves, how to build a well and maintain it. And if they put in their own blood, sweat, and tears into a project, they will protect that road. They will. Yeah, they will help keep certain things.
We want a
clear.
school, we'll build it, we've got a teacher, we've got students, then World Vision can give them money to make the physical things a reality.
That's right. But they have to put in all the care.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Speaking of children, you had your second child right after Xena ended. And I wonder if there was any conflict within you between having another child and setting off on the career after Xena. Did you have to do any balancing in your life at that point about?
Well, the career just went away. That's what happens when you have a kid. Your career vanishes. And you've got to be okay with that and know that you still exist even though you're not in the magazines or on television. Yeah, it forces you to be a human being first and foremost instead of an actress. It's a good thing.
I'm laughing because I'm trying to balance Miles, birth classes, and then finishing my film, and it's insane. It's crazy. But you know, I want to finish my film before the baby comes because
Right.
I know, forget it, I'm definitely taking
Right, after.
what I've been considering my work time, taking all that off, you know. So, but it's really interesting though. But yeah, your values change.
Because you said at the convention that the pregnancy was a bit of a surprise, and you wondered how having another child was going to fit into your life when you had so many plans about movie making. So you consciously had to think, shall I have this child, shall I not? And you also mentioned that the trip to Israel played a part in your decision.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say, shall I have this child or shall I not? But how do I fit it in with what I had goals for me doing? I don't know. How did Israel fit in? It's such a personal, it was such a personal journey that, you know, it's like,
It's so personal. In fact, I don't
I don't want to talk about it.
Perfectly legitimate answer.
Yeah.
I never know.
Yeah, no.
You just gotta
Yeah.
breathe, man. Stop
Yeah.
trying to control the outcome of everything.
God, yeah.
And
It was such a surprise. Yeah.
yeah, certain things
So
you
she's,
just
you know-
do not plan in life. Eh?
I
And
know.
they're just meant to happen. This child could never happen except in that
It
moment.
was such a gift. It's been amazing because
Yeah.
it was such a journey for myself, for my boyfriend, for Miles, for Steve, for all of us, because we are like this sort of interesting family unit that's developing. And it's just made everyone sort of grow in a whole new way. And so when you first hear you're pregnant, you think, oh my God, you know, what? And then I realized it's been an incredible journey. So, but Israel, the thing about Israel is that it's such a beautiful spiritual place that you realize, you look outside of your own situation into other people's turmoil and war and survival, and then looking up to God because of it, to look for help and assistance and guidance, that just sort of put me on the right path, to go, okay, you know, take it in stride, I breathe every day, and I'm so incredibly blessed, you know, I have nothing to
So
worry about.
blessed.
I'm so incredibly blessed. And as long as I just keep, you know, thankful, that it all seems to work out much better than I ever had anticipated, you know?
That's right. You cannot. You can't force like the glory of life to happen. It happens when you just give over.
Yeah, let go. And
Yeah.
yeah. I guess when you talk about control, it's funny because with your career, you want to have ideas of stepping stones and to be where you're going to be at a certain time, especially with planning movies and things. You know, there are stages of development, but yeah, you learn to let all that go.
You know, you just said turn it over, and there's a country song that's out that's popular now. I think the phrase is Jesus take the wheel or something like that. And you've been mentioning God a fair
Yeah,
amount
I've
recently.
never heard you do that before. You're becoming a God botherer.
Well, the thing is, it's interesting. I've been looking back on the whole God bother.
I'm bothering you guys.
It's a real Kiwi singer.
Well, it's funny because New Zealand had a strong influence on me in my spirituality, which is funny, but not in the way that you would think. Because coming up from the South, you know, it's all about Jesus, you know, and everything. And Christianity is very strong. I was sort of fortunate, I think, that my mother didn't push that on me, so I was not thinking that the only way I would be a good person is if I was saved by Christ, you know. So I grew up knowing that's not exactly the truth, and you know, my Jewish friends are just as wonderful as my Christian friends. So, but then going to New Zealand, I didn't find myself that there's a strong sense of Christianity like there is in the South. Do you know what I mean?
Nowhere has it quite like in the South.
Yeah, well, it was interesting though, but it was funny. So I found that I steered more towards believing that you create your own fate, that you drive your own destiny, and I sort of had found that conflicting with the idea that God handles it all, which is how I was sort of raised. So I found throughout the 6 years, I pulled probably more away from God, and then coming back to America, going through so much that so many changes that I've been going through the last few years, that it's, you know, it's back to grassroots. It's like, okay, you know, you gotta help me here, and it's God, you know, and yeah, so I think it's sort of been interesting for me to come back around.
Does a higher power come in handy? Is that any relationship to the spirituality or the philosophy of yoga that you've been talking to me about?
Philosophy.
Oh.
I've been doing a philosophy course just to see where, because it's one of the oldest philosophical schools of thought. So I just want to see where, where some of the origins of human belief first started.
No, not
yes, but
religious belief.
But,
so much. It's not that slant.
Well, it doesn't really have a dogma attached. It's like, this really great yoga teacher said the other day, ethics are for the confused.
Wow.
Because
Explain that, please.
a person who's not confused has no need of ethics. And it doesn't mean you're necessarily a good person, but like incredibly evil people don't need ethics because they're not confused, they're going to do.
Right.
Whatever they do, to good or evil effect, they're going to do what they do. They're not confused. And same with very holy people. They don't need a list of rules to go by because they have an internal moral compass which says, well, this is wrong and this is right.
Right.
You just know on the inside. And the thinking is that God, we do believe in God, but we don't think of it as this big, mean old guy who sits up there zapping homosexuals and Jews, because God is way beyond. Form is beyond form. These are all forms and attachments, and when you realize that form and time, we know this from mathematics, that time doesn't really exist, and form doesn't really exist, because even when you get down to atomic particles, what's in an atom is it's mostly space. Mostly space. None of this really exists, and they've been saying this for 4,000 years in the Vedas and everything. So only now is Western philosophy coming back to that point of realizing that the only thing common here is it's like stuff between the atoms, is what we all are. We're all made of that stuff. We all are it right now, and therefore we are all part of this God.
Right.
And,
No,
I think
I
our
believe that.
our egos have gotten separated from the feeling of unity.
Yeah. But when I say God, I mean I am thinking of a universal God. I'm not looking into certain religions as, you know, being more righteous over the other. You know, it is definitely about all being connected. I started reading this book called The God Code, and it talks about that. I'm just starting it, but yeah.
Who wrote that one?
I don't know. I have to look my email, but that's the whole idea.
Yeah. Somebody's keeping an eye out on us, and it's kind of also each other, keeping an eye out on each other.
What does that mean?
That we're not.
People think about God looking out for each other, but I'm sort of extrapolating from something that you just said, is that if we're all part of this big
Yeah.
consciousness, we're actually keeping an eye on each
Yeah,
other.
that's really true. It stops you getting mad at people because you go, well, they're just another extension of
Yes.
me, or the same thing that I am.
Yeah, definitely.
Look, there's my
Yeah.
fault over there. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't be mad at them, that's in me. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Now, seeing as you had your curly locks on last night when you went to the Grammy party,
Yeah.
I'll segue into the Grammy party, but since we've done this last coffee talk, since last year, you've been doing a fair amount of singing. So how was it being a rock god? We got to show Renee the tape of the factory appearance. How was it being a rock god up on stage at the factory?
Much more fun on the inside than it, like I saw it on the video the next day or whenever you brought it over,
Yeah.
and I was like, I thought it was
That's
better
having
than
more
that. It felt more better than that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But
I heard
Videos
that
don't
great
capture
time.
because in person it was, our filming of that was a little off. Except if the camera had actually been back farther so you could feel the full energy. It's almost like we were so tight we were cutting off the energy, because actually in the room, my God, it was unbelievable. It was electrifying. And your husband was standing there grinning to meet the band.
it was really fun.
It was
really,
just
really fun.
Are you going to do another one? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, I'd do another one. It takes a lot of energy and planning ahead of time. Like they want you to commit to these things a long way
Sure.
ahead, and I am uncomfortable doing that because I know that people are going to fly in from different
Yes.
states and everything, and
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to say yes, have them spend their money on tickets and then pull out. It weighs on me. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So often I can't commit early enough for the business who wants to run it.
Is that character that we saw on stage, is that you, or is that you being a character? Well, because it's so totally different, certainly from someone sitting here. But you often wonder.
You know what? That night, I think it was a little bit of a character. It was much more egotist, much more arrogant than I truly. I mean, you guys know me now.
I want to see
But
that.
like I was, yeah, it was. I was quite sort of strutting and being a little bit rude and whatever. Because you can't go on stage and be mousy. I've done that before, and who gives a damn? No, give the people a show, for God's sake. So
Did you see
put
Madonna
on an
last
act.
night?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
she looked amazing.
I see
Yeah,
photos.
47?
Yeah,
Oh my
she's
God.
strutting her stuff,
That's
you know.
inspiring.
It's
Yeah.
great. She's
How
fantastic.
about Mick Jagger at the Super Bowl, 61?
Yeah.
Oh my God. But you were dropping to your knees and you were just throwing your
You
head
were?
around. Yes.
That was
Called down on your
Aaron Beach show. That
knees.
was
Oh
the
my
beach show.
God, I love it.
Oh
Choreographed
man.
That's hilarious. I would love to see that.
Anybody?
I love it. And because I just spent some time with Eddie just recently, and he said anytime.
Eddie? Oh,
Yeah, if you want to still, he put the
oh no, I
offer
love
out.
that. I love
He
you know what?
offered for Lucy to come in to Austin, and he'd throw a band
Give
together
him
for
my
you.
love.
Yeah.
Give him
Yeah.
my love. Tell him I would love to do it.
Okay.
I've never forgotten. I've known that.
Yeah, he
Available.
just wanted me to remind you.
Yeah, I'd love
He's
to do
been
that.
spending a lot of time with Cyril Neville from the Neville family.
Neville, goodness.
And he'd be available, anytime.
Oh my God, can you imagine it? We'll go down to Austin.
Yeah.
That would be fun,
I
eh?
know, yeah. I'm going to try to eventually, but have a screening of My Diamonds and Guns, so maybe we can
Oh,
Maybe we'll do
wow.
that.
Yeah.
Have a duo thing. Have a screening of the movie and a
But
concert.
I don't think it's the kind of thing that you'd have to plan too far ahead of, So if you got the band, just rehearse with them,
Right, because they're all great musicians.
Yeah,
right?
they're used to
And we could do the
throwing
song
it
that we did
together.
at the
Yeah.
con. I wrote some other songs.
Uh-oh. Does that mean I gotta get?
Let's do
I still have my
that. I'll put-
calluses.
I'll put you and
Do
Eddie
I come in
together.
for a little guest appearance here?
Share the land.
Okay, I want to see that too.
I have been playing every night since then.
Well, it's good because
I am back
they've
to
got
playing.
Cyril Neville shit.
Yes.
So you might get edged out.
I might, unless he doesn't play guitar.
I don't know.
That's how quiet
Austin,
I will
Texas.
stand aside for real musicians.
Be a fun
Oh
party.
God,
Get
we were a
practicing.
couple. Another thing, brave thing that was done at the convention is you were showing your first nude self-portraits,
Yeah.
which Lissy hasn't seen yet either, I don't think.
I love your painting though.
Which
They're
one
really good.
Did you
Oh,
see?
I've seen yours painting at your house. I love your paintings.
Oh,
Yeah,
the face
yeah.
one.
Right,
Right.
right,
That's my
yeah.
first
More
one.
landscape. You did.
Landscape.
Probably. I wonder if the one with the dog was up. Was the one with the dog in
It
the
was
moon?
howling, yep.
Oh, that
That
was,
was
no,
done
okay,
at the
okay,
time,
okay.
yes,
Thank
when
you,
she was
thank
there,
you.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I've been
How was
trying to branch out of doing the Xena ones and to do, because I wanted to do something different, so I started looking at the nudes. I've been wanting to do nudes for a while. I thought, well, hey, I'm so fascinated with the growing body, so
Great.
it's hilarious, because I have to have the right atmosphere to start painting. I've got to have music on, no distractions, clean house, and then just go with it, and it ended up being quite detailed so far. The breast,
How was it to show an audience this? You kept saying, "Oh, I'm embarrassed," and you would giggle.
It's funny. I love it, but I get embarrassed when other people are embarrassed, too. And it was interesting, because Michael Hurst was backstage before, and he looked at it, and he just kind of like looked away. Michael Hurst, who you don't never think would be modest about anything.
I think he always had a bit of a crush on you.
Oh, now it comes out.
You're just hilarious. Talk about pulling something out of
I could always
nowhere.
pick that there are people who are Xena fans, and there are people who are Gabrielle Renee fans, and
Michael Hurst,
you can tell.
that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Just because we like to talk about Shakespeare together, right?
Oh no, I think
Really
it's
close
the
to his
doors.
You are
touching.
hilarious. Well, anyway, there's a lot of information there. So then I get a little giddy.
That's funny.
It's getting hot in here.
We're making her blush. All the way down to her tummy.
Yeah.
You wrote something recently that seemed to sort of straddle what we've been discussing here. New things that you're trying out to do, things that you're not totally comfortable with, but things that you want to experiment with, like painting, like singing. You wrote a line on a card. She constantly walked the line between failure and fabulousness.
I love that. I read that. You said.
I guess that's how I just felt that day. Because there's a time when you do anything that's a little bit scary, where you feel like, I can totally freak out right now, or I can just go out there and be huge.
Yeah.
To go out there and just be half-assed is not really an option. It's either complete failure or complete success, in a way. In your own eyes. I don't think other people's eyes, there's nothing you can do about that. But in your own eyes, you can either... and I often feel that.
Do you
when I
think
do
that
something
before you're going to do something? A little
No,
bit?
I just recognize that feeling of instability on the
okay.
side when you go, I'm
You're
on a
jumping.
tightrope.
Yeah. I like it to jumping, and I usually just jump.
I
don't think about it too much. But
You
it's
think that-
funny because you think I would, right?
Yeah.
Because usually you're the one
Right.
that does stuff, But I don't. I probably should think of the failure a little bit more. Maybe. No, I'm joking. But like singing with you, Last Dance. I mean, what was I thinking? Singing with you at any point. It's like sure,
Oh my
Oh
God,
my
that's
God.
how I feel about it. That's like,
Oh, that's hilarious.
what on earth were we thinking? But we were just, that was an act of generosity. It was just about, let's do something goofy so that
Oh yeah.
these people who have really supported us all these years know that we appreciate them in return.
You think
like,
it's generosity? I'm just having. I'm along for the ride.
Lucy goes, I'm following.
Sure. Something fun. Something I would never choose to do normally. Yeah.
I
Jump
wonder-
out of a cake
what
in a
were we
bikini.
thinking? Oh my God.
That is the fun. I'll never forget that. Oh my God, with your legs coming out and the afro.
Oh
too
my
much.
God.
And you perched underneath it, stuck in the cake.
I know. It was gross on the
Stuck
table.
up there for hours.
It was
going,
so
"Yep."
funny. Those are, those are just those priceless moments that you just.
Yeah, actually, that is the good stuff in life. Like, when we're 80, we'll look back and go, we did some cool, stupid stuff. And,
Yeah.
and though it,
Still, that's what's amazing is we obviously did it on the show, but still,
In real life.
funny thing.
yeah, you got to build some good memories when you're 80. You got to build a good scrapbook, man.
So did you build a good memory at 40 Deuce? Do you know what 40 Deuce
No,
is?
I sure do. But what'd you do?
She
Dance? But did you
I
dance?
just went. No, I didn't dance. They did ask me to dance one year.
That's who I went with. I went with you before. That's the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
there.
right.
That's right.
Although, no, you've been there before. The two of you went.
We went back recently with Tim and Alison Ormondson and
Oh, good.
some kids who were new in town from that I met in New Orleans, and took them out for a kind of a glittery,
Nah.
exciting time. And
It's a great club.
it's a really great club.
So what happened? Come on.
It wasn't happening. Well,
It's
you
a
know what's
cabaret.
happening now?
If you don't know,
It's
those
a
enjoy
burlesque
it.
cabaret.
It's
These
a burlesque
great
cabaret.
dancers do
Oh,
a couple of dances.
phenomenal dancers, though. I mean,
But in between,
No,
they've got
really.
all these, now the public get up on stage and dance.
Ah.
And it's all these women, it's like some hideous meat market. It was, and they're kind of a great floor show in their own way, but it was really trashy.
that's hilarious.
And they're all like holding onto the beads and doing.
Oh God!
And
It's all
it's-
these pole dancing classes.
Yeah.
For fitness, right?
Oh.
Everyone thinks that they're a burlesque dancer now.
Yeah, everybody's getting off on
Oh.
being on the same stage as those girls.
Wow, but these girls, I mean, phenomenal. I couldn't
Those dancers
believe
are
the
great.
dancers. They are obviously classically trained because
Oh, yeah.
there's nothing about what they did that is easy to do. You know,
Uh-huh.
is that phenomenal? That's funny. So did you get? You didn't get up, huh? You didn't get.
No, I restrained myself.
Or Allison and Tim and
It
they all
wasn't tacky enough for me,
Oh,
right?
right.
And you know,
Yeah, you
Tim
know,
Allison.
but if you give you a wig, then you would have been up there.
Yeah. Ah. Low blow. Tim
No,
tried to
it's
take
true.
a photo of me in
Because
the
you would have
dark.
been like, I'm incognito.
Yes,
You would have gone up.
yes.
No one will recognize me.
Can I tell a story? No.
No, it does.
Tim spilled wax all over me. That's all. He was trying to take a photo by candlelight, and I didn't know I was being a goofball like this and knocked it out of his hand. And he spilled wax all down this top, the skirt, and
Oh.
down my boots, which had sort of brown elastic, the ones I
Oh.
wore down on your knees actually,
Right.
at the factory, and just like trashed my whole outfit. And it was actually all right because I didn't really like that top very much actually.
Well, that's a good thing,
like,
right?
it's okay, Tim. He said it'd make a good story. That was the night
Yeah, it
before
spilled
the
wax on you. Like,
God,
yeah.
yeah. Tim covered me in wax.
You talked about going back to, I'm rummaging, I wonder if this was at the convention, you talked about going back to Taylor High School to graduate, but that you didn't fit in anymore there with those people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it, it's a little suburban, very white-collared neighborhood, you know, in Texas. And then I went to this performing arts high school where, you know, people are gay, people are very eccentric, very reflective, very soulful, and artistic. And you have people that are just being so unique and true to themselves. And then I tried to go back to my little neighborhood place where everyone's just trying to fit in with each other, and I just didn't understand it anymore. So I didn't fit in, you know. I was the wacky, weird one. But before, I was part of the, you know, the conforming group, you know. I was a little off. I wasn't, you know, doing the cheerleading things. I was still in theater, but even then, it was very different going to see such great expressions of character and then going back to conformity. Yeah. It was disappointing, surprisingly disappointing. I was 16, 17, so I realized I had changed. It's
Grown
good.
out of it,
It's
grown
all
out
good.
of it.
Such a great school.
And you just went to a party last night? Actually, you've been to 2 parties in 2 nights.
Yes, Julie says I'm never allowed out again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
First you went to the Terry Hatcher Ladies' Home Journal. We got to teach her the difference between Ladies' Home Journal and Good Housekeeping.
Oh, did I get busted for that?
Well, everyone noticed. They could see the sign on the wall
What do you
behind
mean
the
everybody
photos.
knows? Was it on the... was
Well,
on-
we posted Good Housekeeping, and then when the pictures came out, it said Ladies'
I
Home
know, I
Journal.
could tell. The worst thing is that I said it to the editor. I thank Good Housekeeping for having me there, because I didn't see it behind me. I was looking the other way.
Why didn't they just say something then?
Well, they probably changed it when
They probably thought, what'd she say? Because they can't believe that anybody could be as dense as I am regarding who's who and
Renee
what's
could.
what.
I wouldn't, but I mean, I wouldn't know either, so you would assume the editor would correct you, you know? And then you could,
No, I think
No.
they're too embarrassing to bewildered.
oh, okay. So tell me, what was this?
Yeah,
It was
let's
a
hear
Tupperware
about
party?
it
What
was-
is this?
They were-
Funny women.
It
Terry
was
Hatcher.
Women That We Love for Ladies' Home Journal, and Terry Hatcher was being honoured, and she refused to be photographed with me.
No. Really?
What?
Repeatedly.
Really?
Yeah.
So
There
what did
was
she
one
do?
of me with the editor. It's not, she just
I mean,
pretends
she
she
just
doesn't
sort of
get the
like-
request. She just does that. It's not personal though. She's just like,
Wow.
don't put me in a photograph with any other woman. I'm guessing.
With a bit of competition.
I'm guessing. I don't know, that's your,
But
that's your.
But I want to hear the details. So how does that work? So obviously you know how those things, people are just trying to put, I would get together, let's photograph. Does she turn around? Does she leave? I mean, what does
She just pretends she doesn't hear. She does exactly what you did before, and walks the other way.
Wow. Oh my God. You remember?
I thought, well, I was like,
I heard a bit
that is
about
totally
you
flattering.
talking. Yeah. Well, I guess. I know it's kind of odd. But I mean, I heard you were talking about getting freezed out by people on TV shows. That was news to me. I didn't know that you'd ever felt that before. But that's kind of that same situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it freezed out? Is it right? You had been on like people that weren't so welcoming or something.
You know, it's not that they go out of their way to, oh no, that did happen to me once. I won't say who it was, but it was on, it was very disappointing actually on SNL. I won't say exactly who it was, but there were 2 people on that went out of their way to exclude. Yeah.
Now, I'm not surprised because I saw a special on SNL, and I realized how competitive it is, how hard they
I didn't know
to get
either.
their skits.
That's right, and if,
Wow,
yeah.
that's funny.
Don't even guess, because there were only 2, and the others were incredibly wonderful. So I would hate to besmirch, all of them for behaviour of 2.
Yeah. Do you think it's with television shows? I wonder if it's the same on film. And is there a difference, Because what did someone say? It was Philip Seymour Hall said something about actors are meant to support each. What's his name?
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. The actors are meant to support each other. Do you know what I mean? And you wonder with TV shows, you wonder if it's too much about the ego and getting on, the cover TV guide and trying to, fight your way to be the next
there are more
TV star.
ensembles on ensemble television shows now than there used to be. Used to be just like a cast of 2, usually a hero and a sidekick. And it was that way for years. Nowadays, with all these comedy shows, with Raymond and Friends and whatnot, a lot of ensembles, and you can't always service everyone every week. So maybe that brings out a little
Maybe
bit
it's
more
just certain
sense.
people are really insecure. Maybe it's just individuals.
It's probably in any media.
Yeah, and I really believe that the tone is set by
Oh, yeah.
the people, like the producer,
Absolutely.
the executive producer sets a tone.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of the way people treat one another, executive producer, the stars
Yeah. Definitely.
set the work ethic.
Yeah.
The mood on set is a lot about the DP, don't you think?
But
But the audience
know.
would never know about that.
I think it changed for us, but every other week we had someone, they alternated. Well, yes, because the director was still the guest as compared to the DP. But I think it's more the stars, whatever, than anyone.
But they
because
follow the lead.
That you are inviting, that you are inviting them into the family unit, That,
But I do
and that
relate
you're
to
working
that being
hard.
jealous thing.
Well,
I do relate to that.
Do you remember, remember on Dangerous Prey? Do you remember how, what's his name? Murdoch, Oliver was his character. He
No.
wanted to leave for some reason. He didn't want to wait because his next scene was going to be at the end of the day and he didn't want to wait all day. And so they're doing Lucy's stuff, but Lucy had been working since 6 a.m. and working all week and weeks in and out before that.
That's one that Renee was directing.
Yeah, I was directing. And it was just interesting. I'm aware of it anyway, but to be on the other side saying, look, we have the people that are working day in and day out. You've got to cover that. And because she's back on the next morning, and to appease an ego was really interesting.
Of a guest star.
Of a guest
Yeah.
star. That was,
Who really should have just been on his best behaviour.
yeah.
When you're coming into something, you'd be on your best behaviour. And
But talking about work ethic, because you're there, you're working. I think you were pregnant. You were what? You were very pregnant. No, you weren't pregnant.
no, I had
No,
that
I was
in
talking
that
about something
outfit.
else. Yeah, you were
Oh,
pregnant.
right.
That's right.
The one
I was in
pregnant
I was in
now.
a dreaded bikini.
Yeah, it's dreaded. Anyway, but you said a work ethic for, well, everyone did. The grips, everyone was
Everybody
working
was
hard.
slaving the same way. Yeah.
So, it was interesting to have someone come in and not want to
Yeah, that
participate.
guy hurt himself just by being including Nancy. And right, and Renee says to him, look, I know how hard this is. He goes, look, you just don't understand. You do not understand. She goes, yes, I do. He goes, look, you truly don't know how hard it is to learn this thing and do it and then hurt yourself and still have to go back on it. She goes, I do understand. He goes, you can't. And she goes, look, yeah, I do.
so funny.
6 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting.
Whoa.
But yeah, you set the, talking about that, you set the standard.
She was
And
being
most
pretty
every-
nice with him.
I was too nice. You know, looking back, I was a little too soft on him. But I was worried he was going to leave the set. You know, things that you worry about. I was truly worried he wasn't going to perform.
He wouldn't get out of the car or something at some point.
He
So
was
I
just
went up there, and he was
precious.
like, yeah, they were saying, look, Lucy's where she's on set, she's doing it. And he goes, oh, she'll understand. No, she did not understand. So I went up to the car and said, you get your ass down there on set and you do your work. So,
I know, it's funny because I didn't do that with him. And I was actually glad that you did, you know, because someone needed to, and there was no one else that was doing that. And I thought, well, why was I so soft on him? Oops, sorry. I was so soft because there's a little bit of fear that I still have to work with him. Like, that was
Right.
Friday, I think. I had worked with him all day Saturday, and I was worried, what if he just shuts down? He did shut down on me on Saturday anyway. He was, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually was,
he had
very worst behavior on Saturday, if you can believe it. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it gets me. But yeah, he
Yeah.
was like saying names and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, he was, yeah, not about you, but yeah.
No,
About me, actually directed at me. I'm like, did I just hear that? You know, it was amazing.
But you know what? That's really good training
Yeah.
for you as a director.
It was.
Really good training.
Thinking about that guy.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's crazy, because you have to, it's a delicate balance. You still have to, you don't want him to shut down, you need a performance, but at the same time, you gotta snap him out of whatever.
I think when you're
situation they're in.
babies like that, it's like children.
It is
For somebody like
exactly
him, he was being a
children.
bad
Yeah.
baby, and he needed,
Yeah.
there's no discussion about this. It's, yes, yeah, okay, get on your mark. Just
Yeah.
notice it from the
I
beginning, just
know.
keep it real simple for them. Because
yeah.
he
Yeah.
was being a naughty,
Yeah.
silly little boy at 40-something years old is not acceptable.
That was he, really? God. Yeah, but unacceptable, period. But yeah, that was a good lesson, because I was still like the kid, you know? And it was only my second episode, and still a little green, and, but yeah, that was vital. That was a good one to know.
Put your foot down, yeah.
Put it in my back pocket. So
Yeah.
I remember how to handle that.
Well, we gossip right out of time.
Ah.
Yeah, we
Oh,
gotta
yeah, we
pick up
sure did.
babies. Yeah.
guys.
So,
Go on, run, go.
look
go.
at this. And I said I'd pop you out of your chair.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you, pregnant lady. Thank you, lady with.
Thank
kids
you,
running around.
lady.
Thank you, lady. Do you know who that is? Lady. Jerry Lewis. Is that who you were imitating? Did you know who I was
still
doing?
wanted to hear about your Battlestar Galactica, Lucy. Are you,
I don't know
are you
anything
gonna
about
go?
it.
Are you
Yeah, I am going up.
So you're all.
Okay, I was just saying, Renee, I over-questioned. I had at least another page full of great stuff, and last time I came up short.
Oh,
But we got so gossipy, and so I also think.
but that's the best, right? That's the best.
Yeah.
This one?
No, you quoted and I was going to say, I don't think I knew my own sexuality when I was cast on Xena and worked with Lucy Lawless. What did that mean? I have no idea what that means.
This one here?
I knew my own sexuality at all. Oh my God! I'm dying to know. Hey, Ren. No, I'll read this through the door. This is one of the questions. Renee, you were quoted in an article saying, I don't think I knew my own sexuality at all until I was cast on Xena and worked around Lucy Lawless. What did you mean? What did you mean?
Let me just flesh that one. What did I mean?
What the hell did you mean by that?
That's funny.
What the God's green earth does that mean? Lucy, you talked with Bill Clinton. Introduce me to the John Favreau show.
The answer to that would be.
Yes.
Grab my coffee and start.
Yeah.
Because you're always confident in your body. I thought, you know, I didn't know you were called Unco. Maybe then I would have changed my mind. But yeah, you're always confident in your sexuality. It's good to be around women who are confident in their sexuality. You see, because then.
Can he go down first and actually get you coming out the door?
Okay.
Same thing. So you're gonna be in town for a little bit. Then?
Yeah, not for long, like the next couple of months.
Oh.
And then off to Canada.
I have one last question. What was the latest movie you saw?
Walk the line.
Do you like it?
You seen that?
Oh, you got your walk the line haircut on. Got your hairstyle on.
Yeah. There you go.
Is that the June Carter haircut?
I haven't seen a movie in, I did see Capote. It's the only movie I've seen in about a year.
Hugs. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, yeah.
Bye.